Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video and I am working on a 6x8, a full 6x8 layout for Philly. And what I have today is kind of a unique situation here. When we went to do the City Hall tour and go up in the tower and do the observation thing, we got this little brochure. And some of the information like this, I don't care if I have to see the ticket price and times and whatever, but I liked the front. This part was wasn't sure, but I like this part because it specifically says the tower tour, which is what we did, what it includes. This I could do without. I don't necessarily need that, but I like all of this. And I couldn't quite figure out how to get them to go together because I didn't want to use the whole brochure. I didn't feel it was necessary. So I took it apart, and when I was thinking about what to do, I am considering taking a piece of vellum, putting this on the front, this on the back side, so that they're kind of, facing each other like that, and you can see both sides of it, but then I still have kind of an opaque background that I could embellish in some way if I wanted to. So I think I'm just going to start with that. I'm going to go get a piece of the vellum and get started. All right, I have my vellum here, and this particular piece that I have is actually made by Basil. It's just a standard 8.5 by 11 piece, so I will cut it down to be 6 by 8. Okay, so I've cut that down. Here's my 6 by 8 piece, and the way in which I cut it allowed me to save the most. So I do have this chunk left over, which is awesome. So I'll put that in my scraps and save it to use with something else. All right, so now I have the two pieces of the brochure, and I actually cut them down so that it barely fits on the vellum. So it started out a little bit over 8 inches tall, and now I have it at 7 3/4. So there'll be just a tiny border up top and bottom, which is fine. And then I plan to put it right in the middle, I think, because that way I can still embellish over on the sides if I want. And oops, when I have this side showing, I'll just have to creatively place something over here if I do it on the other side, because of course it's going to show through on here. So I have to kind of mimic what I'm doing on each side to ensure that it doesn't show through in a bad way, if that makes sense. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but I'll figure out a way. I have it adhered now, both sides. So that's what the front will look like. That's the back. So now I just have to figure out how else I can embellish this page. I want to keep it relatively simple because this is a lovely photo showing through here on the front, and there's lots of wording on the back, so I don't want to overwhelm it. So I have to be careful in what I choose. So simple is probably better. I have pulled out two things. One is this little pouch that I put together of all things that I thought would work specifically for Philly that I have, and so you can see there's some patriotic stuff in there. Those are Brad's though, so they don't really work here because I can't hide them as well, but there are other things there I might be able to use. And I have also pulled out this package of travel specific things. These are all from a set by Allie Edwards that she did, and I don't remember exactly what's in there, and it's certainly not specific to Philly, but there might be something in there I can use, so I took it out just in case, because I know there's some blue like chipboard words in there. Might work somehow to add that on top. All right, I have a few things that I am considering here. This was in there, and I don't even remember where I got this or what it's from. It looks like I printed it probably and then just cut it out. I don't even know. But I am considering maybe cutting it in half, and I can use half on this side, half on the other side, so that they'll go back to back and it won't look odd. So I could tuck that on either side. I have these two little pieces in there that are both a yellow tint that might bring out this somehow, but then I'd have to find something matching for the other side unless I put it over the actual brochure, which I don't know that I'd want to do that here. I like everything here. Maybe the other side. I have one little yellow star there, but I have this package of stars, and they're kind of funky, but I dig that. And I like that maybe I could work in some other colors, not just, blue and yellow here. There's some kind of pinky, maybe coral color. There's a little bit of red in some of them. And then obviously they're made to match size-wise, so I could match them up back to back if I wanted. So I'm going to go through there too and see if I can use any of those. I have selected these two because they match, and I love that it brings out the red, but there are other colors in there too. I think it makes it very visually interesting. So my plan is actually to place the one on this side first because this is harder to fit in, but I'm thinking something about like that. And if I have to clip off a tiny little bit at the end, I'm totally fine with that. And then the other side for sure will match up because I've got a lot of, blank space over there. So I'm thinking I'm going to start with that. Ta-da, the stars are attached. So there's that one kind of hanging off that side. And then that's how this one looks on the back. And I dig that. Now I've kind of like the idea of maybe putting a smaller one up here somewhere because it could overlap this side of the picture and not really bother anything. So I am considering that. I have to look at the colors I have again. Maybe I could work in yellow. Is that too much yellow? That might be too much, although I could use this one by itself, kind of like right there and not have a match. I don't like that as well though. Well, I'm going to futz around here with these stars to see if I can make anything else work. Oh, that's yellow and yellow. But I will look through what I have left, and if that doesn't work, then I'll go to the next step. I decided to go with the mix of yellow and blue there, and I really like that. It isn't the exact yellow as this, but they're close enough, and it brings the eye to that, I think. So that's how it looks on the front. That's how it looks on the back. Now, I think I want to try to find some kind of a phrase label or something for down here. So again, if it sticks out on this side, I have to make it match over here. But I really don't care if it covers up some of this because this isn't the important information. This is. By the way, I realized I forgot to say where I got these from. These are from Pretty Little Studio, and I've had these a while. They're called Destination Star Die Cuts. So if you're interested, that's who makes them. I wanted to find something that was a darker blue to kind of offset this and then the blue that I used here. This is too light. I need more of these tones. So I think I may use this one. I love the color of it. It's a lot bigger than I anticipated, but I'm thinking I can put it right here over the Monday, Friday, select Saturdays, blah, 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 like so. And then all you see is timed every 15 minutes, which is great. And then only, I can move it over to there, only a little bit of the flag end will show. I could just leave it if I didn't want to add anything to the other side. It's not horrible, but I believe I can find another label that will work and just either make the ends into a flag to match, or maybe it already comes with it. And the width should be close enough that if it's not perfect, it'll be fine. So I found this one for this side, and I love that it's actually in cursive writing, the font, because this is so blocky that I really kind of like that. And it's a little fancier, and this is fancy. So I think I will overlap it a bit. Now it isn't perfect width, but that's okay. That's not going to bother me. It's close enough. And I will cut this to make it look like the flag, and then I'll adhere it. Okay, so there we have it with that adhered. You can see a little bit of the white peeking out. I'm good with that. But I have decided I don't like this being so blank, and the fact that it's kind of in the middle feels weird, like it's just floating. So I think I'm going to actually take a rhinestone and put it on top in some color that would match here. Normally I would probably do a mini staple, but if I do that, it's going to come through in the middle here, and I don't want that. Or I'd have to pry it up and just do the staple through the blue and the brochure, and I really don't want to try to tear this up off of vellum, so it's going to stay, and I'll go with a rhinestone. I did pull out all of my favorite rhinestones here. That's the size I love. It's about a 3/16. And I decided to go with just a clear one. I thought maybe I wanted color, but I kind of like the idea of just having it clear. It'll just give a little sparkle, and then it mimics kind of the clear aspect of the vellum. So I'm going to go with that. All right, I have it done. There's the little rhinestone, and it's in the page protector ready to go. So I'll do close-ups here. So that's the front of the brochure with the stars and the label I added. And then here's the back of the brochure, which I love that you can still read all of that info, and the stars and the labels match up together. So there's another one done for Philly. Thanks for watching.